Welcome back for part 2. We are with Devin Dutson. He's a mental health therapist. Continuing our conversation, but now we're going to be talking about feeling stuck.
Yes, and this subject is actually one of my absolute favorites because for a very, very long time, I was stuck in my life. And when I mean stuck, I mean stuck. Like felt like a prisoner in my own life for many years, as in 7 years. That's a long time to feel stuck, you guys. So this will be really profound today. I don't know if any of you are feeling stuck or have felt stuck, or maybe you don't even know like what that even means, right? Being stuck in your life, right? But I feel it is when you just aren't, for me, happy. And then you don't know how to get out of it. Right? And so you remain in this space and you just stay there.
I also think it's so many people don't even realize they're stuck. It's mental programming. Like, this is what I have to do. I'm going to work a 9 to 5, right? Like we talked about 18 to 65. This is the path. And you're stuck in that. You're stuck in that mental mindset.
Yeah, you're stuck in the life that other people told you you're supposed to have. And that happens all the time. You're told what religion you're going to be. You're told what kind of job you're going to have or not. You're told what kind of marriage you're going to have. Mm-hmm. And so from the beginning of time, clearly we're brought up and told certain things. And the thing is the things we're told aren't reality, right? And the best part about life is you get to design and create your own reality in a blink of an eye. Yeah. And
it doesn't have to be your reality.
Correct.
And
sure. I did that. I chose a new reality. Mm-hmm. I designed that reality, and then I stepped into that new reality that I designed for myself. And it's
Did you feel like you changed your identity while you were making a change of being unstuck?
You 1,000% have to change your identity. Mm-hmm. But I'm a firm believer.
Did you feel like that was the result of changing, or did you feel like you had to change your identity and then you were unstuck?
No, I believe, and coach me on this, Doc. I believe that because I did this, you can sit down and design the exact person you want to be. Mm-hmm. Everything from I want to look this way, I want to act this way, I want to think this way, I want to be this way spiritually, have this kind of spiritual outlook. I want to have my body look this way. I want to make this much money. I want this kind of home. I want these kind of cars. I want these kind of vacations. You literally can craft and design that from scratch. And then you can become that. And I'm saying that because I did that.
Yeah, and I think the pushback that somebody would get for making that statement would be, well, if I'm doing that, that's not authentic. I'm being fake, right?
How is that fake, though?
Because in the beginning, it's because it's change. Mm-hmm. They're not used to it, and it's uncomfortable.
I agree.
That doesn't mean that it's fake. It just means that you're not used to living that way.
Let me give you an example of that exact thing.
People
who know me will be like, whatever. So my first child, I've been very blessed in my life, but my first child, we didn't have a lot of money, and he was going to this small preschool at this little home. And I got a brand new car, but something was getting done. So the dealer gave me a Porsche Panamera as my loaner car. And I'm like, first off, I've never been in a Porsche. Mm-hmm. It was at the Porsche Audi. I got an Audi.
Did you give it back?
They gave me a Porsche. No, so I'm driving this Porsche Panamera. I pull up to drop my oldest off to preschool, and I've never felt more out of place in my life driving that car. I'm like, I feel so out of place pulling up to here. I'm in this car. People are probably going to look at me. I don't feel like I deserve to be in this car. It's very expensive. Like, I felt very out of place being in that kind of car because it wasn't an identity that I had ever experienced or like knew that I could have.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so I go and give the car back, and I felt more comfortable more comfortable in my Audi, right?
Yeah.
And so that didn't feel authentic to me at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Now that I've created a new identity, I'll be sitting in a Lambo one day and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's really interesting. That's an example of that.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on feeling stuck and how we get out?
Let me do a sidebar here for a second. So when we talk to ourselves and when we think to ourselves, this plays a huge role in whether or not you're stuck, is when you have that internal dialogue, you really want to make sure that you have definitive statements that you're describing to your subconscious that's very positive in nature that brings about change. So if you say things like, oh, I'm going to try to drive a Lambo one day, you're really telling your subconscious that you're going to attempt over and over again but not have any results. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. Your brain needs to do the work. So you tell yourself, I will drive a Lambo someday.
Yep.
I know that sounds like to some people, they're just going to be like, all right, whatever, dude.
Well, if you don't care about a Lambo, say, I will have that home one day. I will live on the beach
or I will
one day.
change.
Or
I will change my life.
I will
feel
set. I will, yeah.
I'll feel happy again.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be even a material thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just an example.
Exactly.
Well, and I've had so many women say, I've been in the fitness world. I've done all sorts of things, beauty, marketing, right? And ran marathons. And I've had so many women say, oh, I could never do that. Well, yeah, you're not going to. Like, you already limited yourself.
By speaking that.
Yeah, by saying that. Nobody else believes that. Just you, right?
So the belief set is really what makes us stuck, right? Now, one could argue, hey, I'm in an environment where I can't do anything about it, and my environment is what is causing me to be stuck. And there may be some truth to that. If you're in prison, yeah, you're kind of stuck there, right? Like literally in a prison. But the mental prison's really what we develop for ourselves most of the time. You can always look at your environment in different ways, but you always have a choice in how you want to interact with that environment. So if you don't want to be stuck in a certain environment, really it just takes a lot of mental work to believe that you can, and then you will just naturally get to a point where you bring about change. And it starts out small, and that's okay. That's still change.
Yeah.
But that's for the people who really feel like their environment is what's keeping them stuck. The rest of it, if it's not environmental, it's purely psychological at that point, in my opinion.
And I've never really understood people, I guess, feeling stuck in a place or an environment. You'll hear that all the time. I hate it here. Then leave. Like, that drives me crazy.
I'll give some pushback on that.
Okay.
Because, like, I was stuck in a home that I didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
I was stuck in a relationship I didn't want to be in. Mm-hmm. I wasn't in a financial space to be able to pay to get out of that home. And so a lot of people, I believe, stay in relationships and they stay in homes because they just feel that stuck feeling. And it takes a ton of courage to get yourself out. And it took me courage to get out. And I have friends that I know for a fact they feel stuck. And it's, how do you get out? Because it is inauthentic for someone to change what they truly want, to say, convince themselves that they can be happy in that environment. Like, I guess I can be happy in this home, even though I'm miserable. So for someone like me who had enough courage to change my environment, how can someone else possibly fix that stuck feeling?
I think a big part of it is eliminating the things and the way that you think that maybe has got one to that point of being or feeling stuck. For example, like, I think, in my opinion, one of the worst things that a person can do if they're feeling stuck is to say, I'm stuck. So if they say, I'm stuck, that's already in your psyche. That's already part of your reality. There's some things that we want to be stuck. I would love to be stuck in Hawaii. Again, it's about your perception. It's like, somebody could say, oh, well, I'm married with 5 kids. You're stuck. I like that. So I think with the implication, though, of being stuck is usually negative, right? And I get that. I'm just saying that there is a different way to think about things depending on how you want to think about them.
Okay, so first, change the way you speak.
Yes, it also changes the way you think. And then that changes the way you act, which will change the way you feel. So it's a chain reaction. So that's a big one, right? And then obviously just understanding yourself. It's really personal when it comes to being stuck, right? So like if I'm working with a client and they describe like, hey, I feel stuck, I'm not going to talk to that person about them feeling stuck the same way I would somebody else.
What are other words people say that are almost synonyms to stuck? So if like our audience is like, oh, I've never felt stuck, but what's another thing people say that actually means the same thing?
I feel like people say, I hate my job. I hate, like I said, I hate living here. I don't like my body. I don't like.
Those are all comments of stuck.
Yeah. If your mindset is typically more negative, and there could be a million reasons why that's the case, that's a good indicator that, you're really feeling not where you need to be, that you need to make some changes in life. And you could say that that's another way of being stuck. But when you just recognize that you need to make some changes, like that in and of itself is, I want to get unstuck. So just whatever changes that is, and whatever you might be describing, like I hate the way I look, or I hate the way, I feel, I hate my car, I hate my house, I hate, whatever.
I hate my job. I hear
hate my
that
job.
constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And,
Right?
Yeah.
that one's tough because a lot of times people will just be like, no, this is like, I have to do this in order for me to survive. And it's like, you do need to do things to survive, sure. It just doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
Like you might be really uncomfortable changing your job, but you can change your job. I know that just sounds easy, but I know it's not.
I've literally changed my job like 5 times since I
know. I have not changed my
So
job
I feel
in 17 years.
We've talked a little
Talk
bit
about
about
stuck.
this. It's fear, right?
Fear.
So
can keep you stuck.
I feel like we made a big change in our lives. We moved states, and that was hard because you had a good practice. We had our dream home. Our kids knew nothing but that state, but it was time to go, and it was scary. And I'm like, how are we going to do this? We can't sell our home. Our home wasn't getting sold, and we just left. We left. I figured out how to Airbnb our house, and we just did it.
But that comes with practice too. So I think a lot of people think, oh, I need to develop these characteristics before I make a change. No, you develop those characteristics as you make the change.
Yes.
So once you start making some changes, guess what? Oh, I feel empowered. I feel courageous. I feel like I have the ability to accomplish things. I feel strong, whatever it is. And so as you make changes, that's when the emotions start to come out. And when you talk about identity, then all of a sudden you start to believe I am a person that is courageous, as an example.
Yeah.
And it's almost, I believe it's fake it till you make it. If you tell yourself over and over enough, you're going to start to believe it. But pay attention, because I used to be a terrible person, just so y'all know. I wasn't a terrible person, but I made bad choices, right? And I no longer wanted to have those choices, one, define me, right? Or stay in that space. And so I created the person I wanted to be. And then I kept telling myself over and over and over again that I was that. Here's the thing, though, that you're going to run into is those people in your environment are going to say, no, you're not that person. You're this person.
Yeah.
And they're going to try and pull you down. And they're going to try and keep telling you that you are that old version of yourself. And guess what? Years and a decade later, they're still telling me I'm that person. And you have to literally over and over almost convince yourself that you're not. And then you get rid of, what you need to get rid of to move forward into that new life. And it is hard, you guys. It is really hard if you try and, go about creating a change.
Yeah, I mean, the fake it till you make it, I know that a lot of people would not see it that way, and I know a lot of people that would see it that way. The reality is whether you fake it till you make it or you want to be really authentic about your intentions and who you are or whatever before you make the change, whatever works, do it.
I know. And that's what worked to me. I'm like, no,
True.
I am. I will. Even still with us in our company. It's like, we will.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
It's
don't
a mindset
believe
you have to have.
Yeah.
But like, you have to. And I swear, if you do it long enough, it eventually will happen. I promise you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and the thing about fake it till you make it too that a lot of people might not understand is, I have this conversation, it's a little bit deeper, I'll try to be brief about it, but like when you watch a scary movie, how do you feel?
I don't
Not
watch scary
good.
movies.
Jumpy,
Oh, why
fright,
not?
heart rate.
Because I feel terrible.
Do you feel scared?
Well, yeah, I'm terrified.
But wait, hold on.
The energy, and I'm so scared.
Okay, hold on. Do you logically know that the movie is not real?
Well, I don't know because I don't watch scary movies. But yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I think
Unless
that
it's based on a true
some
story.
person can come in and like kill me or something. That happens.
Let me help.
actually.
I'll answer it for you.
But like a little Chucky doll
You-
probably isn't real, but still.
Wait, Chucky's not a real
Oh.
What? Or that like clown guy. It.
Yeah.
Like I know, but still the energy. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
terrified.
Yeah, we logically know that the movie's not real, but we feel scared. Why is that? There's an emotional part of our brain that cannot tell the difference between what's real or not.
Yes, I know.
So your emotions are being like, I'm terrified, but the reality is there's nothing to be afraid of because it's not even real. So that, if you think about it in terms like that, there is a part of our brains and there's a part of ourselves that we can command and direct, that we don't have to believe what we're saying when we say it because your brain can't tell the difference. So when you're meditating and you're doing self-affirmations with intention, you have that emotional reaction that your subconscious is picking up on, and that's what brings about the change, and then eventually you believe it.
Yeah. No, that's so powerful. That's like the difference of our conscious and subconscious mind.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's another podcast.
Oh
my
yeah, we
friend.
should probably talk about
We have like
the
8, 9
subconscious
No, I mean,
mind
I
and
love
conscious-
it. It's
and
Yeah.
tapping into your subconscious will change your
Huge.
life.
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said. It actually makes me really emotional. Like what you just said, our brains don't know the difference. And we have the power to literally create what we want because of that.
Why do you think there's television programs and you change the channel? It's all because that our brains can't tell the difference. That's how our brains are easily programmed. So when you think about your brain as like a computer and you can change the software and it can be programmed, that means you can program it however you want.
Have you ever read The 4 Agreements or The 5th Agreement? No. Okay, well, you should. We're actually going to put the links below that you guys can download the audio. So the 4 agreements, and it's specifically the 5th agreement, talks about this identical thing. And it will blow your mind if you haven't read it.
Sounds awesome.
Just about reality, right? And
Oh,
what is
dude,
and
that's
what isn't.
what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, they're incredible. So highly suggest you go read. I know we have to wrap it up. Do we want one final point on this? One key takeaway of getting yourself unstuck?
Yeah,
or what do you want to ask?
Yeah,
me?
I just think to wrap it up,
Yeah.
I think all of this seems so overwhelming to people. And when you and I kind of talked about it, we talked about breaking off little pieces at a time to reach that end goal. So do you want to expand on that, how people can
kind of catapult that first step into getting unstuck?
get unstuck, because it can feel overwhelming.
Oh, I know.
You can either try to convince yourself and change the way that you think about things so that you're motivated to make a change, or meditation, self-affirmations, the way you speak exactly.
Okay.
Or you can just do it. And then eventually your thoughts and your emotions will go, oh, I am capable of change. Ah, wow, look at that. And then you keep doing it. So you do it in spite of how you feel. More than likely, when people feel stuck, when they make a change, they're not going to like how they feel. So you have to do it no matter how you feel.
Yep.
It's like going to the gym. Like, you're not going to always want to go to the
I know.
gym. Go anyways. I don't care. Go.
Yeah, that's incredible. Speaking of which, we'll put all of his info down below on each of them. So if you missed part 1, go back and watch. But all of his info on if you would like to hire you. Yes?
Yeah, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Hire me. It is hiring.
For
it
like
is.
help and guidance in any
want.
way, we'll put all of Devin's information below, as well as your YouTube link, any links that are associated with him, you can find him. And then we're for sure going to do a part 3 to 100.
Many more
probably.
to come. There's a
Why not?
endless amount to talk about.
Yeah.
That's right.
Plenty of topics.
Yep.
Yes, but again,
Appreciate
again,
you guys.
please, thank you so much, and please subscribe to the channel. Please click below and subscribe. Leave your comments or questions below, and we'll get back with you. And until next time,
Bye.